Let's talk about Barbault's basket. Andre Barbault, a French astrologer who correctly predicted COVID looking at the astrological formations and alignments. He also found or predicted the alignment that's happening in the middle of the month of July, peaking right around July 19th, July 20th. So, what is Barbault's basket? First of all, what's a basket? A basket is any formation that takes up anywhere from 120 to 180 degrees of the astrological chart. And in this case, with this basket, it's exactly 180 degrees, which means you have a true opposition with two of the planets. And then at the bottom of the basket, the narrower part, you have a true sextile of those two, which is sextile is 60 degrees. So you have from 180 degrees shrinking down to 60 degrees. What it does is it forms this beautiful basket where all four planets are actually exactly aspecting each other. They are all going to be at exactly 4 degrees of their respective signs. So now that we've gotten the shape out of the way, hopefully you can picture that. The way I look at it is it's going to impact the collective because we're talking about transiting planets. We're also talking about the 3 furthest planets that were not known by medieval astrology. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all part of this basket. And then the 4th planet is a social planet. It's the planet of Jupiter. So Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are generational placements because they take years to transit whatever sign they're in. Whereas Jupiter transitions about 1 sign per year. So it's a social planet. It basically gives you kind of like the zeitgeist, the feeling of the day, the trend of the day. So let's talk about next the placements of these planets and how it impacts your chart specifically. So we have Jupiter will approach 4 degrees Leo. It's now ingressing into Leo. So abundance in personal expression and creativity and shining out your light to the world. Interestingly, it will be conjunct the sun about a week into Leo. Jupiter will conjunct the sun, and so the sun will also be involved in this basket formation because the other 3 planets are moving much more slowly. Now, Jupiter in Leo at 4 degrees will oppose Pluto at 4 degrees Aquarius. Pluto has been in Aquarius for the last few years, and it will continue to be in Aquarius for the next 10 or so years. This particular opposition, it puts at odds the abundance of Leo, the self-expression of Leo, versus the transformation within the collective. So at a lower frequency, we're going to fill this pool between what do I do with my friends? What do I do on social media? What do I do with the group? What am I bringing about? What am I supposed to bring about in this incarnation to benefit others? It's going to feel like this blockage. It's what we have when we typically feel an opposition. It's the 2 forces counteracting or fighting against each other, pulling against, like a tug of war is how I like to look at it. And so Jupiter wanting to be abundant in self-expression and creativity versus Pluto wanting to transform the collective, sometimes those energies can conflict with each other and pull against each other at the lower vibration. But as we ascend, become more self-aware, work on ourselves a little bit, engage in regular work on the shadow, and really identifying how we're meant to align with our soul mission and show up for the collective, show up for ourselves, as we ascend that spiral, then this becomes a chance to be in the polarities, and we will intuitively select when to be in more concerned with service to others, service to the collective, transformative service to the collective, and service to self in creativity and self-expression. And one will build on the other. So it will create this beautiful harmony. It will create a harmonic. I'm going to diverge a little bit because there's a mythology here. Did you know that the union of Aphrodite and Mars led to the creation? So it's the pure, like, feminine, the beauty of Venus, Aphrodite, versus the passionate warrior masculine energy of Mars. When those two gods united, it resulted in a child, and the child's name was Harmony. So what I see in an opposition at a higher frequency is an opportunity for harmonics, the harmonious joining of the polarities, the energy of the polarities. And the harmony comes through, it comes through intuition, identifying when to be in one versus when to be in the other. So really working on your strong water elements, the elemental signs that you have in water. So whichever, or the signs you have in the element of water, those are going to help you strengthen your ability to be in the polarity. Also, if you have favorable Gemini placements, that's another way, because Gemini of all signs is the perfect sign for seeing and being in the polarity. It's one of the reasons why Geminis get such a bad rap, is because people think that they're two-faced, or they're not consistent, they're not committed, etc. But in reality, Geminis are seeing both sides of the polarity, and they can be in both and really advocate for both. And that really tends to put people off, understandably so, because we as humans like predictability, we like certainty, and Geminis are as uncertain as any sign in the zodiac.